I graduated from Fort Knox Basic Training, Echo Company 246, 20 years ago this year. I'm returning back today in honor of 4th Platoon Greyhounds to Fort Knox, Kentucky and the Patton Museum. It's a closed base, so you can't go on too much of it. You can see the flags at half-mast today. And we're going to go in and give a brief tour of the Patton Museum. This is what the uniform looks like today. This is the uniform I wore when I was at Fort Knox, Kentucky. This is a 1938 Series 5 Cadillac limousine. This is like the car that the accident that George Patton was in that took his life. This is George Patton's Battle of the Bulge sheepskin coat. These are Patton's dress blues that he purchased in 1929. And these are some of Patton's personal items. You can see his pistol. And his helmet. Here's a portrait of General Patton. It appears the museum's under renovation right now, but you can see a big Patton bust that's going to be placed in here. The first things I learned about Fort Knox when I got here is it's home of armor and home of the cavalry. And marching, I'd constantly see the M1 Abrams tanks as we were training, and so there's quite a display of older tanks out here that the public can view. It's been just over 20 years since I've been here last. My grandparents came out, my 2 grandmas and 1 grandfather. My grandfather was a World War II veteran. My other was a World War II veteran too. He wasn't able to make it. And my other grandfather died shortly after coming out here. So I was happy to get to share this experience because he was a World War II buff. And you could always count on him having a good war movie. So I'm going to show you some of the armored vehicles here. I'm not sure which ones were here or these were here when I was here or not. I'm going to have to go back and check my pictures of that day. And this is the final weapon. It's called Little Bertha. Coming up on Armour Memorial Park. It's kind of appropriate, it's raining today. That seems to be all it did when I was in basic training here in Fort Knox. Many days wearing our rain outfits, our rain suits. And anybody who's had to wear one of those knows it's not always a lot of fun. Especially when you gotta move in all that gear. What we're going to look at is a memorial to the 11th Armored Cavalry Regiment Medal of Honor recipients. It sits outside the museum. And that's the 7-minute tour of the Patton Museum at Fort Knox, Kentucky.